on a Monday and my heart stood still. Speaking of our people, there is nobody that's like this person on the planet. Welcome to the show, Danforth Prince.
Yes, how nice. Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Yes. You see, we talked about giving blood, and you're the next one up. That's what I'm telling you.
I know. I think I should give some blood now.
Yeah, well.
and you're wearing a burqa? Is that what I understood you to say?
Oh, on our webpage, on our Bill Feingold show with Kevin Holmes. Now, we have a very special relationship with Danforth Prince. Danforth Prince is the publisher, and he has this fabulous company, Blood Moon Productions. I always say Blood Moon Productions. And we always scoop everybody, because next week this book will be written up in the Inquirer, in the Globe. It'll be in the New York Post. It'll be everywhere. The name of the book is Love Triangle. Ronald Reagan, Jane Wyman, and Nancy Davis, who earlier in the show I had to tell Kevin who Nancy Davis was and is. Yeah. Okay, tell us about the book. And, of course, it's also written by Darwin Porter, writes these books, and they're fabulous. They're really page-turners. So tell us about the Love Triangle.
Yes, how very nice of you to want me on your show. Thank you a lot. We've followed the Ronald Reagan phenomenon for years, and we realize that there's many books written about him, his governorship of California, his rise to power as president, but there is very little, precious little, almost nothing written about those horny early years in Hollywood.
He was quite the swordsman, they say in the book.
Wannabe.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
They say in your book, it says he was quite the swordsman, which I felt that he must have been in one of those kind of movies with swords. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. He was very interesting when he was president, how he couched that affinity for women, that promiscuity displayed in Hollywood with cute, charming phrases like, quote, "I developed leading ladyitis with every film I've been on." Was very interesting to watch the distillation of these stories in Hollywood and the way that they were very muted later on during his public career as a politician. And that's a whole world unto itself as to why these stories, why this book has never been published before. I'm sort of amazed at how wide open the field was when we began this book, when we announced it and we developed the ad campaigns and wrote the book, and now that it's out and in the tabloids, how little of Ronald Reagan's horny sexual life in Hollywood has ever been discussed or made public or even talked about. Now, if I might say, this was always talked about within inner circles of Hollywood. You could go to a drunken dinner party in the Hollywood Hills and there'd be some B-rated actress from long ago who would pipe up and say, "Oh, I knew Ronald when he was having his affair with Doris Day, and I was in the room, and we went to a nightclub, and it was such fun, and oh." But no one has ever compiled all those stories, all those oral histories, all those results of those drunken dinner parties up in the Hollywood Hills into one coherent book, and we have indeed done it.
And you have done it in Love Triangle. Ronald Reagan, Jane Wyman, and Nancy Davis. Now, Nancy Davis, who is still with us, Nancy Reagan.
Yes.
And the poor thing is, I actually like Nancy Reagan. I came to like her, even though she made a lot of mistakes. But
I did too.
She also was an aspiring actress that had quite a reputation as a young girl in Hollywood.
Well, I don't think it's any surprise to anyone in the entertainment industry that people just screw around a lot on film sets, and you get very involved emotionally with your co-actors, blah, blah. That's not a surprise or even shocking, and our goal with this is not to point fingers or go tisk-tisk, but it is very interesting, the origins of who the U.S. president was during a period in Hollywood that has always been not talked about in polite society, not written about except in scattered feature articles and scattered biography of some of the female participants in this raucous life that he led. For example, Piper Laurie the actress Piper Laurie published a biography 2-3 years ago in which she described in great detail the affair she had with Reagan when they were in their movies together. Monica Lewis is not a well-known actress at all.
No.
I think my father admired Monica Lewis, but she published a biography that laid out the details of her affair with Reagan in great detail. Celine Walters was a B-list actress who asserted for years that Ronald Reagan actually raped her. And that accusation was screamed out at Reagan on the steps of when he was going to church during the second term of his presidency.
Oh.
And some reporter yelled out, "What about that affair you had with Celine Walters?" And Reagan cupped his hand to his ear and said, "I can't hear you what?" And "I can't hear you what?"
Sort of the Bill Cosby of his time. Sort of the Bill
and
Cosby
they went on into church and didn't talk about it. We've accumulated all these stories into one book.
Right.
If I might also say, it is a 3-part biography. It's a 700-page biography with 3 parts. One is devoted to Ronald Reagan's early years in Hollywood as a B actor and the evolution that led eventually to his the polishing of the facade that then led to a successful career in politics.
Right.
Very interesting association with the U.S. Army's film crew for what they called propaganda films during World War II, and the many roles that he fulfilled as the quintessential soldier, American soldier, fighting a desperately needed war. A lot on all that. So if you like to talk about the blend of his political life with his acting life, it really was very visible during his acting gig with the U.S. Army during World War II. A lot on that. But the point I want to make is it's a 3-part biography that includes alternate sections on Reagan himself and on Jane Wyman, for whom there's never been a coherent Hollywood biography ever written of any depth, and then a biography of Nancy Davis. The section on Reagan and Nancy Davis ends in about 1951, 1952, with the understanding that dozens of other books will pick up the thread of the narrative on Ronald Reagan's life and politics. The section on Jane Wyman continues on to her death with her leading role in Falcon Crest.
Yeah, there's some wonderful pictures of Jane with she had the same bad hairdo in Falcon Crest as she had in Johnny Belinda, but which is quite amazing. But no, it's a very interesting book. And when does it actually come out?
Well, this dialogue is about timed book releases of books that tend to make the media. We in the old days of book releases, you could release your news information to the American media in time for the release of the book in America, and everybody would sort of watch the schedule, and it would be gracefully timed. The book would be in the bookstores, and the news articles would appear. And then you do a second campaign for the release in Britain, which would always be about 6 weeks later because of transport time of the actual books. In the new free-for-all world
of the internet,
everybody and the internet, everybody breaks the story at the same time. It's like a crescendo of the crashing gate. Hoover Dam explodes and the news gets out. Now, the point I'd like to bring up is the propensity of the British press to review this book has already shown itself. There's been very large, substantial articles last weekend in London's Sunday Times, a good gray lady of ethics.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terribly prestigious. And the Daily Mail did a long piece on it, and the Independent did a long piece on it. And and the Globe already has a story on newsstands now showing Ronald Reagan surrounded by a bevy of lovely stars with whom he was intimate.
Now, that's right. Now, where is it available in Palm Springs? Don't you always put it in a certain store first?
Yeah, I do, and that is an indication of the respect I hold for Palm Springs as a test marketplace for our kind of product. You have some of the hippest showbiz people from the Reagan era in the whole planet residing out there in Palm Springs. So to that effect, we've released the book worldwide. The very first retail outlet is at Greetings on Palm Canyon Road by the Marriott Hotel out there. Great store. Great.
It is a great store. Well, Danforth, we love you. We love Blood Moon Productions.
Thank you.
Yes, and the name of the book is Love Triangle, Ronald Reagan, Jane Wyman, and Nancy Davis. We got to go because we got lots going on here. But please, you haven't been back to Palm Springs since we first met you. Did we scare you?
Well, I was afraid I might, I didn't know what I'd find when I saw you in a burqa. I don't know what
Well, go on Facebook, and you'll see I look much better on Bill Feingold Show with Kevin Holmes, okay? Thanks, Danforth. We'll talk to you soon. Love Triangle, Ronald Reagan, Jane Wyman, and Nancy Davis. You're listening to the Bulldog and Kevin. It's 94.